Welcome to this special edition episode of Building Tomorrow. Today we celebrate the legacy of Executive Director Mark Hunt and his impact on career and technical education in Pinellas County Schools. I've had the pleasure of working directly under Mr. Hunt going on for 4 years now, and his insights from state-level policies to district integration and innovation to staff sustainability and most of all, student success create some very big shoes to fill in our future. However, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome two of the most amazing people in Pinellas County Schools. We have the man of the hour, Mr. Mark Hunt, on my right, and to my left, retired Superintendent Dr. Michael Grego. Welcome, everyone.
Good day.
Great, thank you.
So if I could ask you, Dr. Grego, how did you get to know Mark Hunt in Pinellas County? What led to that collaboration of bringing him into this county?
Well, first of all, we're really blessed to have Mr. Hunt. Can I call you Mark?
Absolutely.
Mr. Hunt,
Please.
Mark, in Pinellas County. But few people would know that I actually met Mark Hunt about 40 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was during an interview. I was actually part of an interview team. He was interviewing for one of the automotive instructors at Irwin Technical Center, now college. And the interviewing process was a very in-depth one where you had to provide a lesson and give a lesson to this staff. And I was part of the staff. I was over career technical education. And so we all figured that, look, if you could explain a brake system to this group, you're really top notch. And Mr. Hunt came in and just blew us all away. And he became such an intricate part of that automotive team at Irwin Technical College at that time and really grew it. It was truly one of the most remarkable programs in the Tampa Bay region. And that's where I first met Mark. And he's grown exponentially from there. I mean, he went back to school. He continues to get more and more degrees. So when he chose to be able to come over and chose to come back to Pinellas County, we were in a position where we really truly needed some really significant leadership, stable leadership at that time. What year did you come back to?
It was 2014.
14, yeah. It was about 2 years. I arrived here in 2012. And then people were retiring, and we needed leadership in career technical and adult education. And we needed somebody who could provide us a vision of where this district was going to be going. And Mr. Hunt brought that to the table.
That's amazing. So were there, from a career technical education standpoint, were there any policies that you can remember that said, hey, this guy's really got his chops. He's earned it?
One of the things about Mr. Hunt is that regardless of a visit, if he came into my office to visit with me, he always, the one great thing about him, he's a true gentleman, but he always made an appointment to see me. I said, Mark, you should just drop by any time, but the door's always open. But he always made an appointment to see me. And he always had agendas to when he and I were talking. And he had a real vision of where he was going, what he wanted to accomplish during that time, and also what he wanted during that time, too. And what Mark brought to the table was always a vision of how will we and how can we move career and technical education forward in Pinellas County. Because one thing that people don't understand in career and technical education, if you're stagnant, you're moving backwards.
True.
And Mark was somebody who never was comfortable being stagnant. He was always somebody who was saying, why don't we think about this? Why don't we think about this? And so out of 10 or 15 good, really progressive, innovative ideas, he always wanted to push that envelope. We talk a lot about leadership being innovative and pushing things, but Mark always came with the plan and the execution in order to get things done too, not just the thought process, and then things tend to die after that. So looking over the years in terms of the many positive approaches that he brought into Pinellas County, he advanced programs. He actually sometimes had to retire programs that just weren't relevant anymore, and that takes true leadership. But he was always looking at what's the emerging technology, what's the emerging field that we need to do to better serve this community. And career and technical education isn't just a program area, it's a service to the community. And Mark has truly been a great servant in that area.
he really is inspired me for sure. What's new on the horizon then? Dr. Greger kind of set you up there. So on your thinking about the future of where this might be going,
Right.
what would you leave to the next person?
Well, I think some of the things that I'm trying to share with the staff as I look at leaving and whomever is going to take my place, I'm going to suggest to them that they look at air traffic control. There is a significant need there for the foreseeable future, and with our airports here in Pinellas and in Tampa, there is going to be a significant need there. Obviously, the healthcare industry is something that in Pinellas, as the population continues to age, we are going to need healthcare, not only in nursing, but also other fields, the technician fields in the healthcare industry. We are looking at some technician level programs to add at Pinellas Technical College that can serve that population, because there's so many career fields in the healthcare industry outside of direct patient care that we can really serve and that have a dire need right now. So I would say just in the very near future, those are the first two that I would really want to focus on and expand or add.
And for our listeners out there, if you haven't heard one of the Building Tomorrow podcasts, we have the initiative, if you will, from Mr. Hunt in bringing dual enrollment into even the high school levels. And I'm sure that was inspired by Dr. Greger early on, of what can we do for our seniors. And so we've really kind of taken that to the next degree, where some seniors can be, if they've got all their graduation credits, already earning their nursing degrees and those types of things.
Right.
So, yeah, very innovative. Dr. Greger, Mark's involvement in district partnerships or local industry, colleges, businesses, what has your experience been like with him getting out there? And, I know he's on the board of the Career Source Tampa Bay, and, that's just one of the many things I'm sure he's engaged with.
Yeah, well, Mark not only serves on boards, but he serves he's an active member of these boards too. And I hear, as a superintendent, I always heard, we love having Mark on our board because he actually does things. He comes to meetings. He follows through. So the true meaning of effective and highly engaging, high-performing career technical education programs is that of having partnerships. The two are synonymous. So you can't have a great program without great industry partners, without advisory committees. Mark has established apprenticeship partnerships. Mark's established a relationship with state leaders, local, regional leaders. It's all about partnerships, and it's all about creating industry partnerships so they see value to the school district's programs. Because, look, if they don't see value to the school district programs, then our students are not employable at the end. I always think technical colleges are the greatest investment in education by far, because in a year to 2 years, 18 months or so, you can place a student in gainful employment, making a significant salary with no debt.
Right.
And I watch as young people take on significant debt and go into fields that really there's no end game. There's no real gainful employment at the end of it. All education's good, don't get me wrong, but four-year universities need to be more and take on a little bit more of the technical college mentality. And by the way, we keep talking about technical colleges. Mark was in the forefront of that transition between the term technical centers and technical colleges. And not everybody was in favor of that, by the way.
Okay.
But he kept pushing onwards, and it was the right thing to do for the community and for students.
Well, and I believe the two of you were the ones that were instrumental in changing what is unshakable as P-Tech to becoming Pinellas Technical College. So
I always feared if I slipped up around Mark and called it a center, I thought I'd have my tongue ripped out. So I always was fearful of that. So I always hesitated before I said anything. Wow. If Mark was around. But you need people like that. You need leaders.
Right.
Need leaders like that.
Well, I can assure you that in his wisdom that he's a little frustrated by it from time to time, maybe, but he sees that it's part of what is St. Petersburg, unfortunately, in that regard. Is there a kind of a personal note you might want to share with us about working alongside of him and the outcomes that he's brought to our students?
Well, I want to maybe focus in on your last term on students, because we have a lot of discussion about programs and things like that, but programs are meaningless. Students are really where it's at. And if you take a look at Mark's history and his contribution, you can't help but point to the student organizations that are so critical to career and technical education. Not all subject areas or program areas have this, but these are co-curricular areas, and they're a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
They're an expense, they're a lot of work. And I look at some districts sometimes, even across Florida and throughout the United States, it's too much work. We have excuses sometimes why we shouldn't do something, or why we can't do this. Mark, in his leadership, is always and is ensured that his staff always promotes student organizations, where students are competing to learn more at the regional level, at the state level, at the national level, and quite honestly, even at the international level. And this is a characteristic of career and technical education that no one else has, and he has made that a champion. In terms of your latter part of your question about a legacy or what what I've learned, or what we all have this prescribed period of time. As Mr. Hunt moves into a retirement, I can certainly relate to that. But in that prescribed time, the real issue is, what have we done with that? What have we done with the time that has been so gracefully provided us? And it is a gift. Our time that we have is a gift, and the time that we have working with Pinellas County is I've always viewed it as a tremendous gift and blessing. Mark has done remarkable work in regards to the productivity, the impact of lives for young people, for career technical education, adult education isn't all young people. I mean, he's changed the trajectory of life with so many people of all ages in this community, and that'll last for quite some time. So I look forward to the new leadership and understanding what he started, but also challenging him or herself to where we need to continue to grow.
That is an excellent point. Well, I need to thank my boss for allowing me to bring this celebration into this. Is there anything you'd like to share with Dr. Grego while we have him here?
Yeah, I mean, it's uncomfortable for me for people to talk about, me, but honestly, Dr. Grego and I have known each other for a long, long time, and I've learned so much from him that has shaped my leadership in education. And the thing that he taught me a long time ago is every decision that you make should be made with students in mind. And if you make that decision in that way, it'll never be wrong. And I have applied that time and time and time again, and it's always been true. So that's just an example of some of the real things that leaders can teach you, and that I've learned from Dr. Grego too. So,
well, thank you both for your time today. This has certainly been enlightening. And for our listeners, please stay with us. We recently sat down with the director of Pinellas Technical College and then a couple of high school principals. We'll be right back. And welcome back. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome Dr. Jacob Prokop, Director, Pinellas Technical College, Clearwater, to the show today. Welcome, Dr. Prokop.
Hey, thank you.
So, as we're here celebrating Mr. Hunt and his accomplishments throughout these years, would you take a moment and share with our listeners how your association began with Mark?
My association with Mark began a while ago. It was at the beginning of my educational career. He was working for Hillsborough County as, I believe, a content specialist, something like that.
yeah.
So I was hired by Gaither High School and to teach automotive service technology. So I met him briefly, just as acquaintance, my supervisor, consultant person kind of thing, to help me with the automotive program as I developed it. So I think then Mark left, I don't know which district you went to, but you moved on to somewhere else, and then kind of when I was looking to get out of Hillsborough County, I saw the job for the PTC St. Petersburg campus, and because I was working at a district office, and I wanted to go work at a site, and just happened that Mark was at Pinellas County, and so we reconnected at that point, and I applied for the job, was fortunate enough to be appointed, and then Mark became my boss. So, and so we've known each other professionally, but with large gaps in between. Let's put it that way. But we've known each other for a while now, and and it's been a good professional relationship.
And for our listeners out there, I kind of think that you both share a love of automobiles.
I would say so, yeah. We both started our professional careers as automotive technicians. Jake went through a university and got a degree in automotive, and I came up through the workforce and worked my way up. When I originally started with Goodyear Tire, I started as a tire buster and worked my way up to automotive technician, certified auto tech, service manager, those sorts of things, and then landed the position at Irwin Technical College as an automotive instructor back in 1990, way back.
That's just amazing because, for our listeners who are thinking, well, what do I want to do? This is what I like. To see both of you kind of at the top of your professional careers, if you will, is quite exciting. And along that line, as the director of a dual enrollment setup and post-secondary technical education, are there any policies or initiatives that maybe you and Mr. Hunt developed to work forward and help our students?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, it's been it's been a lot of fun to work with Mark on a lot of different things. I mean, there's so many that it boggles the mind. But one thing I want to go back to just quickly, I think my wife puts it best that us career technical education guys know that come up through being able to fix stuff, think and solve problems differently, and I think Mark and I had that in common as far as like the approach to problem solving, the logistical step-by-step process, which is key in repairing anything, and transferring that to education has been a lot of fun. But as far as initiatives, dual enrollment, I mean, we grew that in Pinellas County just by leaps and bounds. We're over 1,200 students this year from dual enrollment. Started with very few. Very happy to create that pathway for our students, from all the way from elementary school to getting into, doing tactile things and fixing stuff and getting interest in it, all the way to a career job. But so many different initiatives. I mean, we rebranded the school way back when I first started assistant director, so made a new logo, all that. That was a lot of fun. Focus on only not the technical skills, but also the soft skills that we teach our students, specifically at PTC. Working with our community members in the school advisory committee to get feedback on what we need to do. And actually, that's been a lot of fun working with Mark because he understands, and I think that's the technician part. It's like, okay, here's what we need to do, so let's set up a plan to execute and get it done. Kind of when you work for flat rate, which is, you get paid based on the job, not the amount of time you spend on it, you become pretty effective at figuring out plans and implementing them because, every dollar counts when you're out in the field working on vehicles for a living.
Yeah. Are there any of the initiatives that you think are part of a capstone to your career that maybe you've brought to Pinellas County?
I think dual enrollment is one of those that I'm real proud of because that connects high school kids with their post-secondary opportunities, and that's one of those things that just keeps paying dividends for the community. Programs that we've developed over the years are very important to me, and the things that we've done to improve the opportunities for kids. Those are special, and one of the things that we always looked at coming up was what can we do to help students be more successful, and how can we make that road easier for them. and those have been the things that are real important.
Well, and I know in the past we've talked about that post-secondary concept where, students are graduating, they're getting their certification to go out there and make their mark professionally, without the overhead, if you will, of that 4-year university degree, and kind of not really guaranteed where you're getting a job. I mean, that's one of the things that you all do phenomenally well, is to make sure that your learners, your graduates, are out there and contributing to our society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jake and his team at the Clearwater campus and Dr. Shedrick and his team at St. Petersburg all do that very, very well in terms of giving students the opportunity to learn, making sure they're placed in career fields, and making sure they're fully prepared for those career fields. So that way they are contributors to the community immediately upon graduation.
Right.
And those are things that they do very well. And I was fortunate enough to work for Dr. Grego when he was in my position, literally, in Hillsborough County. And one of the things I learned from him and from others was that the best thing you can do is hire the very best person that you can at the time for the position, and that has paid off in the long run. We've got really great folks on all of our teams, the adult ed, CTE district, and technical colleges. Just great people that really know their business and do a great job.
Well, I can't complain about that, but I can also say that a lot of that has to do with your mentoring and tutoring, so we thank you for that. And you've been kind of the cutting edge along with this paradigm shift into more hands-on types of learning, so we applaud that as well.
Well, look at the example here. You think about what Mark was saying about giving our kids the opportunity. I mean, we both started in industry, I mean, I don't know about you, Mark, but when I was in the automotive industry, I'd never thought I'd be managing anything with education remotely.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, this is the start. Sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want if you can learn how to solve problems, set up goals, execute plans, and get to work. That one's important.
Mm-hmm.
You can get to any position you really want, and that's the mission I think that through Mr. Hunt's example that we embody in career and technical education in Pinellas, to tell our students it's just the beginning. PTC is not the end all. It is, but it's definitely a solid start. Speaking from the post-secondary side,
Right.
From the beginning of the career, Mr. Hunt shared some experiences on his way into college, and it was an amazing thing to hear that, when he's out with his friends, they're the ones with a little bit of cash in their pocket because they're working, they're going to school, they're doing all of these things, while they're watching the other kids, run up the new credit card that was sent to you because you became a college student, and yay, we don't care if you can afford it, that kind of a thing. So some of that has been very enlightening to see that progression and that opportunity.
he does not kid. That was the same situation for me. I worked on cars while going to school, and everybody came over to my place because we always had the best stuff. So
Yeah. Real pizza there.
Yeah, not microwave. No, we had takeout.
No Tostinos. So how has it been working with Mark on those district partnerships with local industry and those elements?
Yeah, one of the things I really appreciate about Mark and working with him was that he has a high tolerance of risk and is willing to take chances within the context of what's best for students, right? So we did a lot of innovating different things and different thinking, just asking questions that most people I don't think would ask of our community, and just going for it, and I always had his support. It's like, well, try it and see what happens, and that's super important. It's because I think your boss needs to give you some rope, right, if you will, but also know when to call you and say, this might be going a little too far, so just pull back or ask these questions, reroute you as you're learning the different things. So that his guidance has been instrumental to my development as a leader, my process thinking around CTE, because we are a crazy animal when it comes from the state level with reporting and the way it's funded, and I'm not that's boring stuff. But man, there's a lot of it, and he's taught me all that stuff, and you know, and I appreciate that very much because it allows me to do my job the best of my ability. And you know, all I want is every one of my students to graduate and get a job, and him and I have been on that page since day one. So
that's awesome. It is a paperwork intensive group that you have, and that's but the value is certainly there. Working along this leader, if you will, is there a tacit an anecdote that you could share with our listeners about a situation for an outcome with a student or a group of students that really kind of set the mark pretty high?
Well, one of the things that I guess pretty high would be our dual enrollment LPN program. We took a pretty, I would say, risky thing. You know, we're going to try to graduate a group of students and get them to sit for a licensure exam basically the same week. So when you look at that and go, holy cow, you know, this is a professional license that many of our adult students struggle. Many of our adult students can't even get in. And we're going to set this bar to a point and then see what these kids can do. And, you know, that was something that I don't think anybody else in the state was doing. I think there's a couple places that are doing it now. But when we started it, that was a first of its kind. And we did it. We graduated 9, I want to say, the first time, or 8 or something like that. And we've been doing it every year, up to 15, and with the St. Pete campus doing it as well now. And, you know, you have, I mean, such an opportunity, right? You know, a student graduates with a professional license from high school. I mean, you're walking into a full-on career, and you're done. Well, you're not done. You're just getting started, as I mentioned.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. That was pretty amazing as far as student outcomes is concerned, and those parents. I remember one year. I don't know if you were there, Mark. I think you were. We did in the graduation of the class. It was a small class, one of our smaller years. And what we did ahead of time, we decided we're going to do their certificates as well for graduation from PTC. So we did their pinning ceremony, which is the graduation from the nursing school part, and then we presented the certificates also for finishing the program at the same time. So they were technically the first graduates of Pinellas County Schools that year, because it happened like early before high school graduation. And you know, these kids and parents and everybody was crying, and they were just so happy. I mean, joy everywhere. It was fantastic, and that's really what it's all about.
It is amazing when you see the influence that we have. And I'd like to say that Pinellas County seems to be on the innovative side of so many different things, and brought to us by great leaders such as yourself. So as we do celebrate his pending retirement in a little bit of time here, what is it that you hope our families, students, even staff might take away from his time here with us in Pinellas County?
Well, you know, if you look at Pinellas County, there is a CTE program under every rock, right? I mean, every school has something that is attached to CTE. And based on my experience speaking with many community members as part of my duties, professional duties, they used to say, well, we don't teach that anymore. We don't teach that anymore. And they don't say that anymore. You know, there's CTE programs at every high school, every middle schools, and in some elementary schools, I believe. That's kind of out of my range, but you know, I see the chart of all the schools and what's being offered, and you know, and Mark was instrumental in putting those things in and making sure those kids have that exposure. And it's not an easy lift, because you have to convince a lot of people, you have to invest a lot of money, and you have to you have to hire the right people to teach those students in a way that is, you know, caring, passionate, and provides them with that motivation and to, you know, become something, and persistence to pursue it to the next level. And really, you know, if you look at the overall picture of that, is we need humans to be tactile, to think about tactile processes, because if you get somebody interested in doing that, you can probably get them to be from a welder to a nurse, right, and everything in between. Mm-hmm. But if they're not interested in manipulation and building stuff and making things appear, if you will, or manipulating things, you know, that's a problem for our workforce. So Mark's legacy, I think, is the fact that every school has that opportunity for every resident in Pinellas County, and I think that's huge.
That is a great legacy to have for us. We thank you very much for your time today, gentlemen, and it is certainly a pleasure to work with both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And welcome back. We've had a great experience in hearing a little bit about Mr. Hunt's experiences here with us in Pinellas County, and we thought, what a great opportunity to bring it to some of our high school principals. So I would like to introduce to our listeners Mr. Michael Hernandez.
Hello.
And Mr. Joshua Wolfenden.
Glad to be here.
We thank you all for joining us. You know, we know that you've worked with Mr. Hunt for years and cultivating that career technical education, that CTE programs. Are there any initiatives or partnerships that he's maybe brought to you in your programs or your schools that kind of stand out as forefront for you?
Yeah, I believe so. Josh, do you want to start, or would you like me to
Sure,
start?
I can start, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I'm the principal at Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School, and, Mr. Hunt was a primary advocate for our whole school, really, to develop the programs that we have there and make our school a full-fledged high school. That was 8 years ago now, and it's just been absolutely amazing to see the success that we've been able to experience. We've been an A school for the last 4 years, and I really attribute it to the students' active involvement in their CTE programs. They wake up ready to go to school. They want to be there for their program, and it's just an awesome partnership. And the level of support and the advocacy and all of the ways in which Mr. Hunt has assisted us throughout the years has made all the difference.
Yeah, I piggyback off of what you said, Josh. I think the CTE programs are a definite hook and attractor for kids. It makes it exciting and creates a buzz to come to school. Northeast, we've had several for many years now, and I think the key has been sustaining those, because if you don't sustain them, it's like a plant. You got to water it and grow it and nurture it. If you don't do that, those programs can quickly change or potentially fizzle out. So we've been very fortunate to work with Mr. Hunt. We've done several things over the years at Northeast, one of which I think has been critical is the integration of Pinellas Technical College on our campus that has partnered with our culinary program and our automotive program. So now kids are getting high school credits, but also college credits and dual enrollment acceleration points as they're finishing high school, which is just huge. So many things with facilities. Our automotive facility has been upgraded several times. When I started as an assistant principal in 2010 at Northeast, the culinary program was essentially a home ec room, and now we have a state-of-the-art building that has a front-of-the-house restaurant and back-of-the-house cooking area, which is wonderful. The Chief of Credit Union's undergone renovations, went from a traditional like teller-style bank, and to now we have the automated cash machines. So the impact has been widespread and has touched all of our programs, and we continue to grow. And with the addition of Army JROTC, I mean that has exploded on our campus with the national championship last year. It was just fantastic. So we're very grateful, and we love our partnership with Mr. Hunt. We've had a lot of success at Northeast with it.
We do talk a lot about career technical education, but Mr. Hunt is in charge of our ROTC programs here in Pinellas County. You want to talk about that just a little bit?
Sure. We have 8 JROTC programs now, one representing each branch of service. The unique program is the Coast Guard JROTC, which has to be appointed by the Congress, and there are very few of those in the United States. Depends on which calendar you look at. We were either the very first one or the second one that was adopted several years ago. But those programs really, if the military would grant more JROTC programs, we would put one in every high school, because it adds to the different kinds of things that kids can get connected to and encourage them to come to school every day and find some value in school and some connectedness to the school, and that really helps them a lot. And that's where the success is. And of course the instructors all do a great job with that. I mean, you've got really 2 fantastic instructors there at Northeast that just do anything they can for those students, and the students perform. They will step up in national championship for a school program that's been in place now 4 years, maybe 5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice job, nice job. We heard the principals talk a little bit about this thing called the dual enrollment, and it's one thing for me to know and talk about it, but it's important for you all to share. There's two ways that students can do it. They can do it both on your all's campuses, as well as in some programs go to the actual PTC center.
Correct.
Can you all share with us how that works, and our listeners that go, hey, I want to do that?
Sure. So typically when students become upperclassmen, their schedule opens up a little bit to where they have some room in their schedule where they can either go off campus over to Pinellas Technical College. There's the Clearwater campus or the St. Pete campus that they can participate in programs that are of interest to them. Or we have instructors on our campuses that are certified to teach the industry certification courses at the level of the technical college. So for some of our seniors in our marine mechanics program right now, they're taking marine mechanics program courses that qualify them for college credits, which is great. And then we have some students that will actually go over to PTC. They'll take part in the we have a couple who are in the electrician program over there, a couple that are going to construction program over there, and so it's just a great opportunity. It's nice for especially our seniors to be able to get off campus for part of the day and feel like they're really advancing their education in a way that's meaningful to them.
Yeah, Josh, don't forget about your nursing program,
Yes.
nursing dual enrollment, the full time.
Absolutely, yeah. So for our students in our nursing program, if they can complete all of their graduation requirements by the end of their junior year, which is getting easier and easier for them to do as they earn high school credits while they're in middle school. So if they can finish all those graduation requirements by the end of junior year, they can go over to Pinellas Technical College full time and graduate with an LPN certification, which saves them about $7,000 and just puts them in a great position to move on to an RN or a BSN degree at a very young age. So it's a great opportunity and something that Mr. Hunt envisioned and championed and just saw us through. And yeah, we can't thank him enough.
Well, you said it saves them about $7,000. So what's the cost for something like this for a student?
Dual enrollment
Yeah.
is no cost. The district provides all the transportation, books, materials. It's tuition free. So they're getting a college education for free while they're still in high school. And in addition to that, they're cutting the time after high school they would normally have had to spend in those programs at the college. So for the nursing students, they are graduating from high school and graduating from the nursing program. Hopefully they've taken their nursing certification test, and they would be a licensed practical nurse as soon as they graduate from high school. And we have many of them that are already working as practical nurses and have started their RN, registered nurse, or even physicians training, doctor training.
Wow. Well, such great opportunities. For our principals, we kind of touched on a little bit, what's the shift that you've seen in your tenure regarding the CTE programs? Are they expanding? Are you finding that some of the empirical knowledge we know, we'll touch on in just a minute, student relationship to their other courses, how's that working out?
Yeah, for us, I feel like we've expanded. Our Academy of Finance has always been very strong, and we typically have a wait list, and has been that way. But the other few, the enrollments would vary from year to year. But as years have passed, we've gotten more and more kids to enroll. In particular, our lowest enrolled program was automotive. But now we have several students who are wanting to be part of the automotive program, and it has expanded. I think the thing that's really cool is the female population that's in automotive. Last year, we had the highest female population in the automotive program ever, and we're in double digits females, and so it's cool to see it kind of shift where it was, I guess, kind of considered more of a male-dominating field, and seeing more and more females interested in it. I think one of the biggest accomplishments at Northeast, but for CTE in particular is our valedictorian a couple years ago, Carolyn Delaney, female student out of automotive, and we've never had an automotive student as Val or Sal. So, I mean, that was such a tremendous success and celebration, and she is just brilliant. And that program really accelerated her and gave her many opportunities. So I'm very, very grateful for it, and grateful for the opportunities and how it's like evolved and changed over the years. It's exciting to see.
Well, I'm that shameless plug guy, so to our listeners out there, what you just heard was that the automotive graduate, a female, we call them non-traditional because they're not traditionally usually guys in a program like that, became the valedictorian. And this is not an anomaly. I'm sure Josh has many students that are reaching to that next level in their academia.
Yeah. Yeah, so to speak to your original question about our enrollment, our school model state remains pretty consistent with enrollment, but we've been able to expand, not necessarily number-wise, but in what we're able to do with each program. So under the advisement of our advisory board members, we team with professionals in the career fields, and they kind of point us in the direction of what's going on in the industry. And we often tell our families the last thing we want to do is graduate students that aren't equipped to go into their field of study and be prepared to work. And so, we've been able to partner with business partners, community partners through our capstone project presentation night each year. We have them come out and see some of the projects that are going on, and it just leads to opportunities in the career field. And so it's been awesome to see our students go farther and farther with their work experience and really take the school and really get it out on the road and open her up a little bit and see what we can really do. It's been a lot of fun.
There's no automotive reference. All right.
Right, yeah.
Well, and of course we know these initiatives couldn't be happening if it weren't for the support of somebody like Mr. Mark Hunt here. And so as you think about the executive director, what about his legacy would stand out to you all?
I think his vision. Just to be able to see the needs in the community and create programs that are going to meet those needs. They're going to be attractive to students and families. Remember, when we're recruiting students for these programs, we're not just selling them, we're selling their families on this also. And, I've seen a shift in the perspective relevant to career and technical education in the last 15 years. It used to be that, it's great that you're going to this career technical program because not all kids are meant for college. And now it's, wow, you're lucky to go to this career technical program because you can work in your field as you're putting yourself through college. And you can get, meaningful relationships with people in the industry, and you can get work experience, and that's going to be amazing as you network and work towards graduation in your college degree. So I think it's transforming opportunities for students, the trajectory of families, and really our community economy.
Yeah, I think I would say, Mark, what I have always appreciated is you find a way, and it's always. Yeah. It's so easy to work with you as a person. Sometimes when you work with folks that aren't on campus, it seems more like directives or things that you have to do. I've never felt that with you. It's always been like a partnership. And if there's ever needs or something we want to get done, it's, well, let's find a way to do it. Perfect example, we tried to renovate the old ropes obstacle course that we had at Northeast for our ROTC, and economically it just wasn't feasible, too expensive to do, but you come up with an idea and you install the obstacle course at our school, which is tremendous. And we hosted our first ever Raiders event this year, and it was a huge success. Yeah. So it wasn't like it was a roadblock. Let's find a way to come up with a solution. But it's been that way whether we've needed to hire a new teacher or we needed support because we didn't have enough allocations to support a program. You would help us with that. And it's always been a true partnership. It's like, look what we can do together. And it was never like you have to because of whatever the reason is. So I appreciate your candor, your friendliness, and just the comfortability to be able to call you with any question, no matter how silly it may be, and you get the support and you feel it, and it shows, and our programs are thriving because of it. So I just want to personally say thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's helped me as a principal, and it helps make my job a lot easier, and knowing that I don't have to stress out about the CTE stuff because I have an expert that I can lean upon, and I can ask any question that I want, and then it's going to be met with courtesy and kindness and consideration, and our school's going to thrive because of it. So
Well,
thank you.
Thank you for that, and it's a pleasure to serve principals just in general, but it's been an exceptional pleasure to serve both of you because you both are just the top of the heap, so to speak, in terms of persons and principals. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for being here. This has been a great experience to hear about all the contributions made to our county from our Executive Director for Career and Technical Adult Education. So we want to encourage you to share, to download, to find that podcast and let your friends hear about it. Until next time, thank you.